Hi, friends. It's Asynchronous Friday, February 12th. Today we're going to be reading week 15, day 4. And to begin with, our vocabulary word today is ceremony. And if we look at that picture, I think most of you know what kind of ceremony that is. Ceremony is a noun that means a special procedure that we do for a reason, right? A graduation, which is the picture to the left, is a ceremony that students participate in when they end high school or when they end college, right? There's another graduation ceremony. I think some of your siblings probably graduated from 5th grade or from kindergarten or even from preschool. Sometimes preschools have graduation ceremonies as well. You're graduating, so you're moving on. It's special procedure, right? That shows that in this case, you're moving on from one place to another. We have ceremonies at school. What are some of the ceremonies we have at school? On the next slide, you're going to write a ceremony that we have at school. Boys and girls, what is a ceremony? A ceremony means a special procedure that we do for a reason. Today, we're going to be reading about ceremonies involving the Cherokee. One, we're going to be reading, were there special hunting ceremonies? On page 39. And then we're going to jump to page 55, and we're going to say, if you were a Cherokee, we're going to learn about what would you celebrate as a Cherokee. Let's dive in. As we read, I want you to think about, how do the Cherokee ceremonies compare to other ceremonies we have read about? So be thinking of that as you're choral reading with me. When we're choral reading, you are following along in the text. You are whisper reading with me. Why do we do that? To build our fluency. It allows us to become better readers. So boys and girls, put your choral reading hats on. Put your eyes on the book. I'm going to read the subtitle first. Were there special hunting ceremonies? Yes. When hunters were going off on a big hunt, the whole village took part in animal dances. These dances were held to make certain that the hunt would be successful. There were different dances for different animals. The beaver dance and the raccoon dance acted out the hunting, killing, and skinning of these animals. The buffalo hunt dance was performed by men and women acting like bull and cow buffaloes. The bear dance was a fall favorite. The Cherokee believed bears had once been human and were the 8th Cherokee clan. Wow, I had so many thought bubbles popping up right now. So we got why did they have ceremonies, and then we learned about all the different types of ceremonies they had. I hope you were thinking as you were reading too, because there's a question that's going to be following. What would you celebrate? Everybody turn to page 55. I'll wait, or you could pause me. What would you celebrate? This is our subtitle for this section. I know a subtitle tells me what I'm going to read next. Festivals were held every year. These festivals celebrated important seasonal events. There were many different kinds of food. Oh, and yesterday we learned all the different types of food they had, didn't we? There was music and dancing, red wooden water drums, and long gourd rattles kept steady beats. Carved cane flutes played melodies. Dancers with leg rattles made of tortoise shells moved in a circle. Shucka shucka, shucka shucka, went the rattles. You danced until you were too tired to go on. Wow, I'm going to stop to make a sensory image here. I think you all probably got some sensory images as well. Remember, the senses are with your five senses. It's what you're seeing, what you're hearing, what you're feeling, what you're touching, right? Those are all senses, right? Here, I had a lot of words that made me think of sounds. I heard drums, rattles, steady beats, flutes, shucka shucka. I think the author wants me to think of these celebrations as having a lot of noise and music that made them fun. They also had a lot of dancing. Could you visualize seeing those people dancing? Yeah, I know I could visualize them dancing. And when it said they were long gourd rattles, I was envisioning a gourd, the gourds that we have at Halloween. So there are lots of visions that you could see. A red wooden water drum. What the heck is that? I want to find out more, right? So let's keep reading. These celebrations do look fun though. Turning to page 56 and 57. The first new moon of spring was celebrated in March. The green corn dance was in August, when the young corn was ready for tasting. The ripe corn ceremony was held in September, when the corn was harvested. The friendship ceremony, or atahuna, was held in the fall. This was a time to forget grudges and to build friendships. Homes were cleaned. Old household things were burned. New clothes were made and worn out clothes were burned. Then the family fire was put on. Atahuna was a time to begin a new year with new things and new feelings. A new sacred fire was started with coals from the old fire. Embers from this fire were carried to each home to relight the family's fires. It's pretty cool. Embers are those like red pieces of wood that are like really, really hot, so they can put another fire in another place. Atahuna lasted 7 days and nights. Oh no, I have a connection. I'm thinking back to when we read Horrible Harry, and Hanukkah was 8 nights, and Kwanzaa had 8 nights, right? I believe it was 8 nights. So there were dances every night. Men, women, girls, and boys danced for love, friendship, and new beginnings. A special dance, the booger dance, did I hear any giggles right then? Was enjoyed by everyone, especially the children. Men, I don't know what that is. Men, can we go through? Traded clothing with a friend and put on scary wooden masks. The masks represented enemies, evil spirits, or creatures. The men would burst into a home or the council house, pretending they were enemies and do silly things that made the enemy look foolish. I don't know about you guys, but I think if somebody burst in like that, I would get a little nervous, right? At other times, the men danced around a fire, acting like clowns, as the children tried to guess which was their father. The chief dance was a festival held every 7 years. Wow. Anybody else think that the Cherokee are pretty fun? Yeah, me too. So many celebrations, so many dances, lots of music, community, everybody working together. Sounds like a special place to be. So as you partner read this time, you're going to go back to the beginning of the section and you're going to reread what we just read. As you're rereading, I want you to think, what were some of the special ceremonies that the Cherokee had? So for your reread, you're just reading the section on ceremonies. So you're going to go back to page 55 and you're going to read page 55. You can pause it. You're going to read page 56 and 57. So for this partner read, I just want you reading pages 55, 56, and 57, and you can pause it as you read it. All right. Now we're going to get into some discussion questions. I'm going to ask you to respond to these discussion questions in this Nearpod. The first one is, why did the village dance before big hunts? This is why, not when or how. Why did they dance? Number 2, describe what you might see and hear at a festival. Number 3, what were some of the things that were celebrated at the ceremonies? And the last one, it's going to be a poll. Which Cherokee ceremony would you want to participate in? All right, I cannot wait to read your responses, and I hope you are having a fabulous Friday, and I will see you on Tuesday. Enjoy your long weekend.